You know, Alex, I walked into the shop this morning and realized my 3D printer has been sitting there so long it's actually started growing its own ecosystem of sawdust and spider webs. It looks less like a high tech tool and more like a relic from a sunken ship.
Well, considering you usually treat anything that doesn't require a sledgehammer as witchcraft, I'm not surprised. But you might want to break out the duster, because the August trends are making that little plastic spitter look pretty essential again.
I saw that, this wisteria project people are obsessing over. Now, usually if I want flowers in the house, I either buy them or I forget an anniversary and really buy them. But these prints, they're different. It's not just a solid block of Lego looking plastic. They've got this hanging, organic flow to them. It's like someone figured out how to teach a machine to grow ivy.
It's the multi-part builds, Tiger. The precision is getting to the point where the uncanny valley of plants is disappearing. But here's the kicker. You don't even have to buy the plastic anymore. Have you looked at these pet filament makers?
It's about time. I've got a mountain of soda bottles in the recycling bin that's been mocking me for months. The idea that I can take a Mountain Dew bottle, shred it, and turn it into a hyper-realistic hanging flower? That feels like we're finally living in the future we were promised in the 80s. It's a closed loop. No more oops, I ran out of gray. Just, hey, pass me that water bottle. I need to finish this leaf.
It's getting even easier, too. They're rolling out these double IDEX printers with RFID chips in the spools. The machine basically shakes hands with the plastic. It knows exactly how hot to run without you having to spend 3 hours squinting at a settings menu.
Thank goodness. Every time I have to dive into a sub-menu to adjust retraction speeds, a little piece of my soul turns into a wood chip and drifts away. I like tools that have the decency to know what they are.
Speaking of tools that know what they are, let's talk about the heavy hitters. You saw the latest Welding journal?
I did. And man, it's a bittersweet symphony for an old spark thrower like me. They're talking about welding automation and inspection as the new standard.
Does that mean the robots are coming for your stinger, Tiger? Are you going to be replaced by a giant mechanical arm that doesn't need coffee breaks?
Not quite. But the game is changing. If you're a kid coming up in the trades right now, just knowing how to lay a pretty bead isn't the finish line anymore. It's the starting block. The real money, the buy a boat and retire money, is moving toward the CWI and CWE roles, certified welding inspectors and educators.
So, less time under the hood, more time looking at the data?
Exactly. These robots, they're fast, but they're as dumb as a box of hammers if a sensor goes wonky. We need humans who can speak electric arc and Python script at the same time. I've always said that a tool is only as good as the hand holding it, but nowadays, the hand might be a line of code. If you can program the bot and then inspect the integrity of the weld it just laid, you're basically unfireable.
It's a career ladder, not a treadmill. I think people get scared of automation because they think it's a ceiling. But it sounds like you're saying it's actually a staircase.
It's a staircase if you're willing to climb. If you just stand at the bottom complaining that the stairs are moving, you're going to get left in the basement.
Speaking of getting left behind, let's pivot to the business side, our Maker Mogul segment. You're great at making things, Tiger, but you once told me that your first attempt at an email list was just a yellow legal pad you lost in a pile of sawdust.
It's true. I treated marketing like a chore, like cleaning out the gutters. But if you're trying to actually make a living off your craft in 2026, you can't just yell into the void of social media. You're basically renting an audience from a billionaire who could change the locks tomorrow.
That's why the Amy Porterfield approach is so big right now. Building that email list, it's the only digital real estate you actually own.
And it's about the who, not just the what. I've been looking at how Stephen Bartlett tells stories. People don't want a table. They can get a table at a big box store for $50. They want the story of why I chose that specific piece of walnut, how the grain reminded me of a river in the Ozarks, and why I spent 4 hours hand rubbing the finish until my shoulder screamed.
Your shoulder screams if you look at a sanding block too hard.
Fair point. But the lesson is, show the process. Use the tools Kim Garst talks about. Use AI to help write your descriptions if you're a wordsmith challenge grump like me. Spend 5 minutes filming the mess on your floor before you sweep it up. People love the mess. It makes the finished product feel earned.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty for the weekend warriors. We're in a move or improve market. A lot of people are looking at their drafty old houses and deciding to hunker down. But there's a smell that haunts my dreams, Tiger. That old cottage dampness.
Oh, I know that scent. It's the smell of money evaporating. If you walk into a basement and it smells like a wet dog that's been living in a mushroom factory, you've got a foundation issue.
People usually just buy a dehumidifier and call it a day, though, right?
That's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken leg. You've got to find where the moisture is invited in. Usually it's the grating around the house or a hairline crack in the foundation that's acting like a straw. If you're renovating, you handle the water first, or you're just building a very expensive mold farm.
And if you're going for the full gold standard of home improvement, you've been talking about geothermal heat pumps for months. Is that actually a DIY project, or are you trying to get our listeners into trouble?
It's a big swing project. I'm not saying you go out with a garden shovel and start digging a 400-foot hole by yourself, but the ROI in 2026, with the current incentives and the tech getting more modular, it's the smartest move you can make for a long-term home. It's like planting a tree that pays your electric bill. It takes some sweat, and you'll definitely need to call in a pro for the loop field, but the satisfaction of heating your house with the literal earth beneath your boots, that's the peak of maker pride.
So, the takeaway for this week seems to be don't be afraid of the new, whether it's a robot welder, an AI marketing tool, or a hole in the ground for your heater.
Exactly. The shop doesn't end at the garage door. It's a mindset. It's about being curious enough to try the thing that scares you a little bit, whether that's 3D printing a flower or reimagining your entire career.
Just maybe clean the spider webs off the printer before you start, okay?
Hey, those spiders were my best apprentices. They never complained about the sawdust. Thanks for hanging out in the den today, folks. Go build something that'll outlast you. And if you mess up, just remember, it's not a mistake. It's just a very expensive lesson in what not to do next time.
Catch you all in the next one. Stay sharp.